We got a good one for you guys.
Oof.
HBO Max.
HBO
You're
Max.
doing it, man. You're almost up to par
doing
with the Apple TV.
Oh,
You're bringing us some good ones.
You're next there with Disney as well.
Yeah, that's true. We got, it's called The Little,
Little Things.
Little things.
It's the little things, Jimmy. It's the little things that rip you apart. It's the little things that get you caught.
3 huge actors, 3 Academy Award winning actors.
Thanks.
So you should expect big things.
Big things.
Remy Malek,
Remy,
Denzel Washington,
the man.
and Jared Leto.
And Jared Leto.
Jared Weird-Ass Leto. Jared Weird-Ass Leto.
It's,
Please watch this
I think
movie.
this film is in the genre of psychedelic.
Definitely
Expert?
psychedelic.
Okay.
Psychedelic. I categorize as psychedelic, mystery, suspense. It's up there. You don't follow along. You do follow along if you sit down and listen, but it's
definitely one you have to shut yourself in and cut off all ties.
and we
to the
did.
rest
Yeah,
We and
We did.
Toxin watched it.
of it. Yeah, we
It
had to
was
watch that
in
song.
it.
We watched it without this one.
But it's easy for us because we grew up in these kind of movies where we had to think about things because it's the little things
It was the
that
little-
you miss
The devil's
that
little
cannot or can solve the case.
And we were basically
Or get you caught.
breaking it down. And I know you said the same thing.
Yeah.
She saw it on her own, but
But we all
already
came
breaking
to
this shit
powwow
down. We're like
about it.
It
We
was the
already-
man and the grassy knoll.
I was the second gunman. You guys know.
So we knew what it was about before it even started, or when it was going, we could pinpoint things out because it's up our alley because
Yeah,
we grew up with forensics, and so to tell you it's about detective work, and they're following the serial killer, and it just their chemistry together worked well. It's hard because when you have 3 main actors like that, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Right.
But in this case, it did. It's not a huge film, but it's up there.
It's
up there.
Yeah, definitely with the
It's a
actors
Blu-ray.
too.
Yeah,
It's definitely a Blu-ray. It's time.
Setting
It's
the time right.
time setting area, whatever.
So
Denzel is over the hill, kind of got demoted. Something it explains it along the story. You have Remy Malek as a hotshot new detective.
Gus that look.
His jaw,
Learning
Very
from
pronounced
Denzel.
jaws.
but like, and
He
that's
leads with that jaw.
exactly. And you don't get Leto.
jaw.
I was looking. We were watching the
Jaw.
movie. I was like, I noticed like we didn't see Jared Leto until like the middle. So
Right.
it's like a 2-hour movie, and when you get into the Jared Leto part.
So it's
I love them
already
in here.
right. It's already suspenseful, but when he comes in, it brings it all together, and it just makes it that much more suspenseful. Jared Leto, I'm never surprised about your acting. It's
Yes,
always
sir.
on point.
Yes, sir.
Every character
Yeah.
they give you, you master. My son didn't agree with the Joker, but I said it's because you weren't given
It
the
was a
right
script.
script.
It was
But
a
I know you
script.
can bring the Joker because
Yeah.
you just have that kind of acting ability.
I was excited.
Remy is this
They robbed you, bro.
educated
They did.
detective, you know, the newcomer versus the old comer with instinct and knowledge, and Remy's just learning
Gun ho.
and observing from Denzel.
Yeah, and then to the point where Denzel has to recover some evidence, whatnot, and for where he's at, because at this point he's already in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the beginning part of the movie, where this girl is driving and she's jamming out, and in this car, the headlights at the end, you know, it's this long road, and I'm just saying it catches you from the beginning, but.
The title says it all. Detective work is about little things.
Ooh yeah.
Footsteps or
It's-
hair strand.
They're trained picking up the things that normal people don't see every day, and that's how they solve their case.
A
You know,
beret.
Yeah, the beret.
Whatever.
Why did he choose this road? Why did he choose this road? Why did he dump from this? Any little things that gives you a clue of what kind of state, what kind of mindset the killer is in.
Nonsense.
They have to get into that
Yeah,
sense.
so.
Nonsense.
And then that's when we're going to that part where Denzel is already teaching Remy Malek, because he's asking, hey man, like, can I pick your brain at
Right.
this point? And he's
He's getting pointers from him. That's what it is.
yeah.
They're bringing him on crimes, and then, you know what? Like what I was kind of not really, I guess, confused about. I guess you could say it kind of what was happening now with Remy Malek's case. It was kind of referring to a lot of the stuff that a previous case that Denzel had worked like I think 15 years before, and it was like there's a lot of similarities. The bite marks on the body, the way they're kind of laid out, the position and stuff like that. And then with this, it shows like one bad thing can go wrong, and one bad thing did go wrong, which got him demoted. And one thing goes wrong with Rami Malek, and they basically are covering each other's tracks.
Yeah, it shows you a dark side of the
Exactly.
force.
And maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we don't get like at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. Always we watching this
Major cliffhanger.
Maybe that's why we don't get what we want to get at the end. Because,
I guess so.
Because
I don't know.
We all grew up, especially my grandmother, their mother, grew up on mystery novels, mystery shows, and we all definitely carried it on with us. And we are used to seeing, and we get that satisfaction from them finding the killer at the end. And in this one, they don't. They do kill Jared Leto. Rami Malek is up to here, and he has that point where he hits him in the head with the shovel and kills him.
You get that point where, like this, at the end of the movie of Seven, he's like, kill me, what's in the box, and shit like that. But you get that vibe, they're by themselves. Denzel's trailing them somehow. He's trying to find them, but at this point, Leto's picking at Remy, and because he's digging holes and like
trying to find a
a body that may or may not be there.
Yeah,
the one that he can't. I think
Denzel. We have theories.
Yeah, I think Denzel says you get attached to at least one of the victims and you carry it with them. So this one person, he just couldn't let go, and while he's fucking with them, he just had enough. He hits him over the head with the shovel, and now it's up to them to cover it up. But then again, like we said, with the unsatisfaction, we are left because we don't know.
If he was the killer,
he may have been guilty of something, but maybe not necessarily the killings that they were investigating.
Because you have to watch it at the end, because you're like, okay, he could have been just fucking with them all this time.
Right?
Yeah, it could have been fake. Because he even says he's like us. He follows. He watches the shows and he follows cases very closely, so he knows details that other people wouldn't.
And that's the reason why too. I mean, that's the reason why I'm thinking. Where I'm kind of thinking right now that these cops, they find someone and they're like, they're so convinced and they're gonna do whatever they can to fucking accuse this guy. I'm sorry to get this fucking political and shit, but
we do back to them, but damn, so we're not like against the cops, but it shows you even like the saying a line from Street Kings with Keanu Reeves and Forrest Whitaker, like cops protecting other cops. If teachers could do it, if nurses can do it, doctors could do it, they would. So that's what there is here doing. So he, as we said, Remy kills this guy, and he finds a box of evidence that he has to burn eventually, and they're looking for a red beret that the last victim had, but it's nowhere to be found. But then Denzel mails Remy the red beret, hey, it's cool, you got the right guy or whatever, but it turns out that Denzel had lied and bought a red beret just so he could ease his conscience.
Just to get closure.
At that moment,
Remy to get closure.
Exactly.
Because he's messed up.
Yeah, because at that moment, going back to where he's trailing him, he tells him, hey, I'll be back in a few hours, which Denzel goes to fucking Jared Leto's apartment, cleans everything out until the next morning. It was a whole fucking night deal.
Funny how he knew what to do.
And that's where and we get to that point where he's like, they even embrace each other, and through the whole thing, Remy's like,
he's in shock.
Such a good actor.
Yeah, I can't believe
it. He's just like, he doesn't.
And it gets you to wonder, like, does this kind of thing happen?
Yeah.
Do the Force cover each other? Do other people with
they pinpoint this person just because this person's a weirdo?
Just because he's an outcast, right?
Yeah. And I like the logic.
Automatically, he's guilty.
I like the logic behind it, embracing Rami Malek and all that, because he's passing the torch. Because we later find out that a similar situation happened to Denzel. He didn't kill the wrong unsub, but he did kill one of the victims, and he actually shot her in the chest, and ballistics removed the bullet and just left it out of the report.
Yes.
So covering up this murder. Yeah,
she died from multiple stab wounds.
And it was obviously a big bullet.
It was a big So it goes. It does show like those people who coerce confessions, the cops that used to beat confessions out. You beat anybody, they're going to tell you that they're the Queen of England.
Eventually.
So
yeah, exactly.
So that's where it shows the dark side. I choose waterboarding, but it shows the dark side. But still, like it was an innocent man, and he was just trying to help out because he didn't want him to end up like him. Heart attack, depression, divorce, losing his house, losing his kids. So
at this point, Remy's already gone. He's staring at his kids. he's staring at his kids, and
But he's
like,
not
he
staring
keeps-
at his kids.
He
Right.
keeps, yeah, exactly. He keeps replaying the footage that the young girl that the parents were showing him during his time when he was
Right.
doing the investigation. So yeah, I think it was bullshit where we got to this point, but Denzel did a good thing.
The storytelling up to the point was
Yeah,
amazing.
it was
I
like
liked it.
amazing, but it was like, God, this is what it is for real. But I think he did it right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jared Leto looks like that every weirdo that works in a plant.
Greasy hair.
Greasy hair,
Obviously,
looks
they just.
If I touch
transform
them, he'll be sticky.
They
Yeah.
They transform him, but
Smell like-
Remy at the
just
end,
smell like
like
duck
what they
butter.
said, is checked out. Denzel knew what to do to get for him to find closure.
Right, Denzel.
But it just says that it just cover after cover after cover. So what is the true case? We don't know.
We
We're
don't know.
left to
Is the unsub
make
still
our
out
own
there?
case.
Like,
Yeah.
what is the deal?
And that's what part I didn't like, because again, I come from a generation where we find closure. Even Perry Mason, we find we find the killer. We find it. That's what, and you're just left here like.
You know, if the killing started up again, then of course
So was
the
this
case
a
officer,
story of serial killers, or was it a story of detective and what's behind the scenes? I
Yeah,
don't know.
well, we don't see what they did with them.
Yeah. Now I want to add just a little to his performance. You know, it's already to the point where we don't even have to look at Denzel. You know, he's gonna do a good job.
He's gonna do
But
good.
he,
No-brainer.
at this point, this character, there was a little bit like his long laughing, like he was laughing at this. He did a little bit more extra, and I noticed it. I'm just saying that, and it was still good.
It was good.
Remy, of course, and then the weirdo,
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Going off of what the random said, I do like that. Again, Denzel is amazing. I got burned out of his movies because I've watched so many recently.
Equalizer was good,
But I'm glad.
I told my brother killed him.
With that, I'm glad that they didn't give him the Equalizer thing, because even with Liam Neeson, now that he was in the movie Taken, every damn movie afterwards, he knows badass moves, he knows all this. They made him a regular cop. He was overweight, out of shape, and he was older, so he was already breaking down. So they kept him that. He didn't have any special.
Right, he didn't.
I have a special shout out scouts, but he didn't do that. So
But
kudos to him.
I love Queen Latifah. But
It's definitely a 2 thumbs up for me.
2 thumbs up.
Only
Oh,
because-
2 thumbs up. definitely.
Only because the cast mesh well, the cast is great, the story's great. It's just I didn't like the ending, but
Edge
2
of the seat.
thumbs up
Edge of the seat to the end.
for psychedelic movies, because that's our
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Basically, go see it. Recommendations?
Can I do mine first?
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Robot. Mr.
Ah,
Robot.
for Remy
Mr.
Malek.
Robot. It's on FX, I believe. But Mr. Robot.
And I'm gonna do Jared Little, what he won his Academy Award for, Dallas Buyers Club.
Great on,
Transformed in
Oh,
that
he did.
character.
He
He
did.
transformed in this movie.
I just got it over there.
So I'm not shocked. I'm waiting for him to bring me something else to shock me.
I actually have 2, because going off with the whole dark side of the police force and the good side. I have 2 in there, both Denzel Washington movies. One, Fallen, where he's
Oh, yeah.
I reviewed that one recently, and Training Day. So definitely go check those out. Both the good side and the bad side of the police force and what they need to do, guys.
You gotta be a wolf.
So come back and see us.
You little
Subscribe.
sheep, you
push
gotta be a
the
wolf.
bell, follow us. That's okay. We them dudes.
Yeah. Coming up new shit.
And we'll see you.
At the movies, right here.
HBO Max
HBO
or-
Max, yeah. Throwing out the HBO Max. If it's in theaters, it's usually at HBO Max. To subscribe, you can get it through Hulu if you have HBO, wherever you can have HBO cable.
HBO Max.
HBO, let me know what's up.
With that alone,
Do
I can
things.
get free Hulu and all that.
Watch things and
Me too.
Uno Mas, sponsor me.
Keep
Yeah.
going, guys. Keep watching them flicks.
Stay creepy.
Ah!